Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're joining me for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time when I upload a new video, and like and definitely share the channel. If you are a regular, thank you so much for being my day one. You know I appreciate you a lot, like a lot, larger than life, because you are the people that make my channel successful. You're sharing my content, you're watching my content, and you motivate me to want to keep giving you content. So I'm like so excited to just share this video or this information once more with you. I've been having a lot of questions, people saying, hey, talk to us about the cost of living, about the traveling expenses. Well, don't worry, y'all. I got you. I got you. Welcome, guys. My name is Chieda, and welcome to my channel, Be Inspired with Chi. It's always a pleasure, and without wasting any more of your time, let's get straight into the tea of the day. Tea of the day. I don't know if you are a tea person, but I'm definitely a tea person. I don't like coffee that much. Hot chocolate, definitely hot chocolate. So when I was preparing for my trip to come to Hong Kong, there are a few things that I had to look at, and one of those things was flights. So okay, actually, let's start from the beginning. So when you're busy applying, you've done your CV, you've sent it out, and they've told you that they want you to send your visa application form. So they'll send you visa application forms, and then you have to print them out, print them, fill them in, scan them, send them. And they might say, well, they want you to send those documents with your certified certificates. So something that you need to take into consideration is money for sending the paperwork to Hong Kong or to Japan or wherever it is, and that might maybe cost you about, I didn't have to send it, I just scanned all my papers and did it via email, so I didn't have to like send it through, but I know some people have sent it through. So you have to look at money in terms of sending those documents, and I think DHL from Zimbabwe will probably cost you about $50. That's about maybe 700 rands or 800 rands. I'm not entirely sure. That's like, you know, a figure from the top of my head. And after looking at sending your stuff, that's like the visa stuff, then they'll send you the visa. Then you need to start looking at flights. Flights right now are, when I came, I think I paid about like, must have been 7,000 rands, about 400 and something US dollars the time that I came. That's like what, 3 years ago. And right now when I checked, flights are going for about 12,000 rands. So that is something that you need to take into consideration. So you have that 12K for your flights. And also, if you're coming to Hong Kong, then you need to look at getting your vaccination done. So I know in some places vaccination is free, and in some, if it's, you know, it's like a test that you want to use to travel, then you have to pay for that test. In Zimbabwe, I know it's like what, $50, which is about maybe 900 to 1,000 rands. So that's something else to take into consideration. So after your flights, you need to look at the quarantine in Hong Kong. And quarantine right now, hotels are going for anywhere between 7,000 Hong Kong dollars to about 15,000 Hong Kong dollars for 7 days. If you are vaccinated, you've had your first, second, and third jab, then you don't need to quarantine for 14 days. You only need to quarantine for about 7 days, which is okay. And the packages include like meals, breakfast, lunch, and supper, dinner. So you need to look at quarantine hotels, and that's about 15,000 Hong Kong, 7,000 to 15,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is about 14,000 rands to about 30,000 rands just for quarantine. So that's another figure that you need to look at. After your flights and quarantine, then you get to Hong Kong. You need to look at commuting around Hong Kong from, you know, your hotel. Once you're done with quarantine, I know from the airport there's a shuttle that takes you from the airport to your designated hotel, and after all of that, then you now need to look at commuting around the city. And the trains don't cost much, you know, at most you'll probably be paying about maybe 20 Hong Kong dollars, which is about 40, no, 20 by 2, that's like 2 trips, right? You'll probably be paying like 40 Hong Kong dollars, which is about 80 rands a day in terms of transport. And that's the maximum, that's like the most that you've had to pay. The routes usually aren't that expensive. If you want to use a cab, intercity, like a very short distance, is about 20 Hong Kong dollars, about 400 rand. So it just depends with how you want to travel, but I definitely encourage you to use the MTR. It is so convenient. You won't even feel the distance, guys. So in a month, you're probably looking at about 800 Hong Kong dollars, which is about 1,600 rands in terms of commuting and transport from your school to your place or just in and about Hong Kong. After looking at commuting, you want to look at data, getting a cell phone line. Well, obviously when you get to Hong Kong, you need to get a cell phone line. So you look at getting a line, and lines don't cost that much, about 30 Hong Kong dollars, and you need to get data for that line. And at the moment you can get like 100 Hong Kong dollars per month, which is unlimited data that you can use, and you keep like topping that up every month. There are cheaper options, but the data quality isn't all that good and the network isn't all that good. So that is something that you need to look at as well. After data, accommodation, guys. Accommodation. Oh my gosh. If you have watched my videos, if you have been like listening to my videos, you would know that I'm always like accommodation. It's so expensive in Hong Kong, guys. Like Hong Kong is in the top 3 the most expensive accommodation in the entire world, guys. Like I'm not even kidding. I'm not tripping. So when you first get to Hong Kong, depending with your budget, if you want to get like your own apartment, then you're looking at like 8,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is 16,000 rands. And you need to pay 2 months deposit plus a month's rent. You're paying 8K by 3. That's like 8, 16, 24,000 Hong Kong dollars. That's about 48,000 rands just for your first month settling in. However, there are places where you can well, I can't say you co-live with each other. They're called co-living spaces, where you just like have a room, you have a house, you share the house, you have your own room, with like everything that you need, and then you share a kitchen, you share a bathroom, you share the laundry room, which I think is quite fair. And usually those places start from anywhere between 4,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is 8,000 rands, to about, I think, 6,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is 12,000 rands. Guys, I know when I convert the figure into rands, it sounds like so much. Excuse me. It sounds like so much, but I want you to think about how you're getting paid as much as well. So if you get a job that pays you about 25K, which is 50,000 rands, that's still okay. You're still comfortable, you know. So you need to think about that when you're looking at accommodation. 2 months deposit plus 1 month's rent, so you're paying 3 times the actual amount. However, with the deposit, when you move out, they will give you back your money. Better have my money. They will give you back your money, so don't worry about that. But when you're still coming, you need to think about that. So you need to look at anywhere between 10,000 rands to about 20,000 rands, depending with your budget and just how you want to live. Now, I know I've spoken of a few things. Let's just see if there's anything else I missed. Oh, yes, grocery shopping. Guys, when you first get to Hong Kong, I doubt that you'd want to be shopping, like going on a shopping spree in terms of clothes and shoes and stuff like that. That is stuff you usually do when you've been in Hong Kong for quite, like a few months. However, you want to be shopping for groceries. So you could, just do McDonald's every single day, or KFC, or, takeout. Some people say having takeouts is cheaper, takeaway is cheaper than buying groceries. But in my case, I think groceries are actually cheaper because I get to cook what I want. And, I could cook for days, like for actual days. So if you want to be looking at buying groceries when you first get to Hong Kong, then you need to, if you're going to be in a co-living space, then you don't have to worry about buying cutlery or pots and stuff like that. But if you do get your own place, then you need to start thinking about buying pots and pans and stuff like that. And that's like a whole budget on its own, like a whole 3,000 Hong Kong dollars, 6,000 rands on its own. But if you're going to be like just coming in a co-living space and you just want to start by buying groceries, then you can actually say, well, per week you're spending about $300 Hong Kong dollars, which is about 600 rands just on groceries. So if you say 300 by 4, that's about 1,200 Hong Kong dollars, 2,500 rands on groceries, which is, I think it's still a good deal. So anywhere between 300 Hong Kong dollars to 500 Hong Kong dollars. you are safe in terms of your groceries. You don't have to worry about much. You don't have to stress about much. That should be enough for the whole month. So in terms of just the living expenses at the moment, those are the main living expenses: your housing, commuting, your groceries, communication, your flights, money for paperwork, and yeah, that's like, I think that those are like the main things that I've spoken about. I'm just gonna check if I missed out anything, because I have like an actual list. Oh, then you need an emergency fund, guys, just in case stuff happens. You need an emergency fund. First thing, when you get to Hong Kong, get a Hong Kong ID, because when you fall sick or you go through like a health emergency, Hong Kong healthcare is so affordable if you have a Hong Kong ID. I spent 2 nights in a hospital. I had like multiple x-rays taken. I had multiple physio sessions. I had multiple doctor consultations for 2 days in a hospital, and I only paid about 50 US dollars for like all of that. But you have to have a Hong Kong ID, so that's the first thing you need to do when you get into Hong Kong. Then maybe, you know, want to put aside money for entertainment. You want to go for movies, you want to meet people for lunches, for dinners. That is all up to you. Although my first like couple of months in Hong Kong, I wasn't having none of that. You know, I was just trying to see how much I need to work out to save, how much I can spend, and just working my way around that. So definitely these are the things you need to look at. For entertainment, maybe about like 500 Hong Kong dollars a month. You know, I mean, what are you doing? You're not like going to like really bougie hotels, you know, when you get here. So that is definitely something to think about. Pleasure quarantine hotels. So in terms of just expenses moving to Hong Kong, this is what I have for you. If you have any other questions, comment section, let me know what you think. Let me know what you are sort of wanting to know more about. I know that you have been asking me about just living expenses in Hong Kong, and all in all, this video covers all of that as well, minus the quarantine, minus the flights, but living expenses, that's your groceries, that's your accommodation, and that is your commuting and communication. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and we always do this on this channel. We breathe in and out, and we call ourselves bosses, because we are, you are. So yeah, let's do it together. Okay guys, let's go. Whew, 1, breathe in, breathe out. I am a boss. In, out. I am a boss. In, out. I am a boss. Listen here, you are a boss, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Keep fighting for your dreams, keep chasing your dreams, and until the next video, I'll catch you later.